All right, welcome everybody to NoCoders Office Hours, episode number 222. I'm your host, Tanya. We're here with our members, Ben and Thomas. We're going to get started in just a moment, but before we do, a little bit about office hours. It is one of the things you get access to as a developer member with NoCoders. And if you want to join, you can go to pronocoders.com and see what we're all about. And essentially, we have 6 Zoom sessions every week, and we invite our members to come and ask us any question they want about Bubble, and we do our best to get it answered. Of course, we can't promise to have all of the answers because nobody does, but we do get it right most of the time when it comes to Bubble at least, and we promise that you won't suffer alone. So do go to pronocoders.com, check it out, sign up, and come meet us because we can't wait to meet you. For today's session, Ben and Thomas said that they don't have any questions, any no-code questions to start us off with. So I thought I would share a bit about what I'm doing learning Xano, which is a no-code back-end tool. And we're getting serious about Xano here at NoCoders lately. Kind of excited about it, actually. In fact, we're going to be building a good chunk of Ben's back-end in Xano over the next few weeks. Yeah, so we can get this click launched finally. So yeah, let me go ahead and log in. Log in with Google. How was your weekend, gentlemen? We're waiting for it to load.
Yeah, it was good. Just relaxed.
Yep.
Pretty chill.
Good. So I imported an Airtable in here earlier today. So my database tables here are ones that I have in an Airtable database. And something I noticed right away is that Xano does not appear to have formula fields like Airtable does. I guess that's one of the major advantages of Airtable. What do you think, Ben? Like, I think
one of
that
many
continues to be one of the huge advantages of using Airtable. They have formula fields.
Yeah, one of many major benefits of Airtable.
Yeah, but let's just go in and look at, let's see, I think the list is an interesting one. So I pulled in, so it does appear, I think this means it's linked to another table. I think they got the link there. There we go. Yeah, so definitely you can link it to other tables, which is what I would anticipate. More links to other tables. Just giving a handle on this, but all the places where I would normally see like a formula, this would be a formula field in an Airtable. They've just made it a text field and put in the number. So all of these, I think, these are numbers, which make sense. But like if I go to add a new one here, I have the option of text, integer, object is interesting, table reference. I don't know what this one is. Maybe we should look that up. Boolean, decimal, email, password. This one is one that Eli is super excited about. Is you can have a field set to be JSON. Storage and then geography. So let's find out what the enum is. How do you say that even? Oh, so it's like a single selected scheme. Does that make sense? What do you think, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like or maybe it's both. Maybe it's you could do single or multiple lists. Yeah, you do either. Cool. So for those of you who might not understand why we are exploring Xano, it's because Bubble has certain limitations when it comes to the database. It can store a ton of information. It's not about volume of information, it's about the manipulation and processing of information. So if you wanted to run the same operation on each of your records in Bubble, that's going to take you a long time because you need to run it recursively and perform the operation one by one. And in order to keep their systems operational and with the least amount of stress per second as possible, Bubble would separate all of those operations by a second or more in order to keep everything going. And that's just way too slow when you're talking about having thousands and thousands of records that you need to process or thousands of records that you need to add or export from the database. And Xano is going to do that a lot faster, a lot more efficiently. And that's why we're looking at using Xano more and more to help supplement what Bubble can do on its own. So, but this definitely gives you more of the feel, I think, that you're looking for, Ben, because you've often said you wish that Bubble's backend would allow you to do things like this. So you
Yeah,
can add a
absolutely.
field, like add a record and just on the fly. And even this part is much more elegant than Bubbles in terms of being able to drag and drop fields and make it look the way that you want it to.
I don't know how everyone else feels, but Bubble annoys me in the back end when you want to see all data, how it creates different views constantly. You can end up with hundreds of them.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's true. Every time you go to modify the main field, so I think that it's one of those things that you should be allowed to modify in the main view, right? I think that's the problem, is you can't modify the main view. Like you can view all the records, but it's sort of up to Bubble in terms of which records they're going to show, like which fields they're going to show you. So like if I go to all users here, first of all, I don't have that many users, Bubble, so you're being ridiculous. So I have 18 additional fields. I can click on them, but when I do this, it's modify an existing database view. So maybe that's the difference, is when I click on here, it's create, no, it says modify an existing. Okay, so that didn't, I don't have, this is the only one I have right now as an extra view. So I'm going to delete this and come into here, into users, and I say, okay, I want to see the user slug. And so I can see the user slug now, but now I have an all users modified. And it's not clear when I click that button that it's creating a different view. And I don't know that I have the option to change this view. Maybe I can. I don't even know what that did. Is it duplicating the view?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If I do this, again, it's just creating a new view. So now I've, in 3 different ways, I've made new views, right? Which it gets very unwieldy having all of these different views. The only thing I've found to manage this better is to be more conscientious as I'm creating the views. So if I do click this button now, oftentimes I'll just make sure that I rename it. So I'm going to rename this to be users with slugs. And then I'll add a constraint and I'll say where the slug isn't empty. Right? And so now this has more meaning than just modified, like all users modified. So that way if I need this again, I can come to it again and I can edit this one as many times as I want. Because if I click the edit button here and I say about slugs is empty, it doesn't create a new one. It keeps the same one and just edits the view. But I agree with you, clunky. The way that it works out of the box is clunky. What else
And
don't you like?
it seems like Xano will fix that problem big time. It's like, look, a lot of people are used to Airtable, or more so than that, even Excel and Google Sheets. And this gives you that advantage of being able to manipulate and change data in that same kind of format, that same kind of way, quickly, easily. Like it looks like there's a search function there, which is like if you've got, 100,000 records, that's going to come in so handy. Sort, hide field, like all those things are just going to become super, super powerful.
Yep, I don't doubt it. And it's paginated, which Bubbles is as well. Airtable is not, but that's one of the reasons why Airtable, you end up with having a limitation. Like it starts to get clunky after several thousand rows. I found that it starts to get really clunky after about 5,000 rows. I don't know what your experience has been.
Yeah,
with it.
agree.
But
So
pagination.
So Airtable will obviously access Xano via an API and it's super fast. Is that correct?
Oh, Bubble, you mean?
Yeah. Accesses the information from Xano. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So Bubble will access the information from Xano. I was just doing if you sign up, I'm on their free plan to play around. You sign up for Xano and then you get to your dashboard, they'll automatically open up a quick start guide. Or you can access it through their help button. And their
look at that. There's already something there for Bubble. That's awesome.
Yep. So you can do a video walkthrough. The video walkthrough kind of takes you through like how to add your first records, kind of like what you're looking at here. Then they help you to set up your first API endpoint. So your Xano endpoint, which is the endpoint that you would be hitting from Bubble in order to get information back out of Xano. And then you can, so this is testing that, and then you can see it working in a front end demo. So I go here. Oh, yeah, so it's trying to get to the template, but I didn't start with that template, so that's why. But they were just doing that for example purposes. So, but Eli has really enjoyed using Xano, and I've seen now we have Lachlan and Jonathan, they're using Xano, and Dave McManus is starting to use Xano, so a lot of people are starting to use it. I just had a call, a really interesting call with Robbie Frank earlier this morning. He was talking about basically doing the same thing, except he knows how to do SQL. So he's been doing his own database with an Amazon hosted SQL server, and then doing Python scripting using AWS and also Lambda, AWS Lambda, to do some really complex stuff. Xano is not that complex. Xano is no code. It's the most no code backend that Eli has tested. And so that's one of the reasons why we're going to be devoting a lot of time over the next little while to learning Xano. And I'm excited for it. I think anytime you learn something new, it's good. And Xano's just been coming up so much. Backendless was also a contender, but after working with Backendless a little bit over the summer, Eli said that Xano is definitely more friendly for no-coders. So I think we'll start with Xano.
And what's the price point like on using Xano? What's the...
That's a good question. So if I were to go to, I have a free instance. How about upgrade? They would say they'd make it easy to upgrade. Let me go to my dashboard. There we go. So $59 per month to start. I wonder what has background tasks mean.
What are background tasks?
Yep, that's one of the things I was like, I don't know what that means. A background task is a Xano process that runs behind the scenes and without user intervention. Typically used for things like weekly newsletters or daily reports. Oh, it's like a backend workflow. Like a recursive backend workflow, like that just runs itself over and over. What else do you want to know?
What's API versioning?
API versioning is implemented using Xano branching technology. It allows you to work on new versions of your API without affecting live customer traffic. So it's like the same sort of thing as a version in Bubble. So I can have my development version, which is different than my live version.
Gotcha.
So it sounds like you can have different versions of your API.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And on the that's what I was interested in. Basically because I like these things, but what's in the Xano marketplace? And there was another thing there that you had.
Wait, so there's a public Xano marketplace, extensions that are pre-built capabilities that you can add to your app, like sending SMS. Oh, got it. Okay, so that's similar to Bubble. Bubble has the plugin marketplace where you have free and paid plugins that you can install into your Bubble app. Well, Xano seems to have the same sort of thing. And then they also have a private marketplace, and that just is like you can build your own plugin for your own app and not share it with the rest of the world in Bubble. So it seems like you could create your own Xano extension and not make it public to everyone else.
Cool. And back in where you had the database, there was a drop down to see what's available in the marketplace. That'd be interesting to see what there's actually there.
Where was it? I don't remember
When you were on the
seeing it.
database,
Okay, let's go.
see marketplace drop down under library on the left.
There we go.
I like add-ons. I think they're great.
Mm-hmm. Love this, right?
Mm,
I guess we need it for Discord. Well, I guess you could send webhooks into Discord. We could figure that out.
yeah. For messaging, what were the other options besides messaging?
Yep, there's another one. Okay, so security payments, probably Stripe
Mm,
and PayPal. I would expect to see here. Nope, just Stripe.
Stripe. Fair enough.
I mean, Stripe's pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Let's see what they have for user Facebook, Google, Magic Link with SendGrid, LinkedIn, Outseta. I don't even know what Outseta is.
Which one is? Sorry.
Outseta. So I know all of these.
Outset. I'll do some Googling while you're going through it.
Yeah. So starter template, real-time chat with Able,
Oh, that's cool.
contact form,
Outsetter is a
job
CRM
board.
basically that also accepts payments.
I see. Two-sided rental marketplace similar to Airbnb.
21 API endpoints.
Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in an Airbnb. So. Oh man, it was the worst check-in of an Airbnb or a hotel or anything I've ever experienced in my life yesterday. It
Why
was
is that?
pretty bad. One for the record books. It took over 10 phone calls just to get into our Airbnb. That's how bad it was. Self check-in did not work out in this case. I like the Airbnb though. Like the place is nice. So, and the price is right. So my question is to these is like, what are the front ends? Are these just the back ends then? And you have to, like, these are just templated back ends, right?
I would assume so. It looks a lot like Airtable Universe. Have you been on Airtable Universe?
No, I haven't.
It's basically just templates for your data, like
Got it.
setup, automated structures, automated formulas, that kind of stuff. But yeah, and you just download the template and it just gives you basically like a a blank sheet where you just plug the information in or upload a CSV.
Yeah.
I like that idea though, because it'll give you people ideas as well on what they can do if you start seeing those templates and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
What's sorry, another question. What's in the library on the left-hand side above Marketplace? Functions.
Oh, so they have a tutorial here.
Cool. Oh, that's your background tasks. It'd be interesting to see what functions is formulas.
Functions are formulas that are run on the information. Is that what it says in the help section here?
Right.
Functions are organized, reusable workflows that can be easily added to any API endpoint. Okay, so instead of storing data as a like having fields that have functions determining the values, you run the functions on the data. That makes sense.
Before it gets into the database.
Yeah. It's a different way of thinking about things. That's why Eli said he thought doing one-on-one time with him to learn it would be best. That's what I'm gonna do.
It does look even compared to Bubble, it looks way more straightforward to me, but I don't know. Yep. Yeah, no, it looks really good.
Well, I'm excited to dive in and to learn, and I think just using your app as a reason to learn is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So, like you can do practice things or whatever, but the more practical the application is to a real life example of what you need, the better in terms of learning. So thank you for allowing us to learn on your app.
Thank you.
Let's see, what else should we talk about?
I don't know. I don't really have anything at the moment.
We could move into after hours. There's going to be another episode today, so we can leave the heavy office hours lifting to Cameron.
Yep. Cool.
You don't have anything, Thomas, do you? No questions?
I'm okay.
No? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this has been more less Bubble and more Xano, but that's okay. You're going to be seeing more from us on Xano anyway. So we'll go ahead and wrap up episode number 222 of Office Hours, and we'll be back with episode 223 this evening. Today, when we're recording this, is Monday. Our office hours are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then Mondays we have a second session at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. So please do join us. Go to pronocoders.com and sign up today. We can't wait to meet you.